Elon Musk's medical device company Neuralink is now facing a federal investigation over statements coming from internal staff indicating that the way animal trials were run within the company were cruel and certainly broke, according to their accusations, animal welfare laws. Now, the complaints allege that the animal testing that's being conducted has been rushed, leading to needless suffering and deaths of said animals. Now, the federal probe, which has not been previously reported, so this is the update to the story, was opened in recent months by the United States Department of Agriculture's Inspector General at the request of a federal prosecutor, according to two sources with knowledge of the investigation. The probe, one of the sources said, focuses on violations of the Animal Welfare Act, which governs how researchers treat and test some animals. Now, Neuralink is a company that, look, it seeks to do something wonderful. So I want to be fair and honest about that, because the idea is implanting some sort of chip in the brain or of a paralyzed individual so they're able to communicate with the computer and be basically somewhat free to function on their own, right? So they're looking to accomplish something really great. But obviously there are laws and regulations in place for a reason, to protect animal welfare, to ensure that these trials aren't rushed, to ensure that certain protocols are met. And based on what the internal staff has been alleging, those protocols were not met, and there was a lot of pressure to rush through these trials, which led to, according to them, unnecessary deaths of countless, I don't want to say countless, 1,500, possibly more animals. Now, the specific complaints come from more than 20 former and current employees at Neuralink. In all, the company has killed about 1,500 animals, including more than 280 sheep, pigs, and monkeys, following experiments since 2018, according to records reviewed by Reuters and sources with direct knowledge of the company's animal testing operations. So Reuters did a pretty good investigation into this themselves. They looked at the documents, they interviewed dozens of individuals who either had worked at Neuralink or currently work at Neuralink, and here's what they found. They identified 4 experiments involving 86 pigs and 2 monkeys that were marred in recent years by human errors. The mistakes weakened the experiment's research value and required the tests to be repeated, leading to more animals being killed, 3 of the current and former staffers said. The 3 people attributed the mistakes to a lack of preparation by a testing staff working in a pressure cooker environment. And the pressure cooker environment is a comment or statement that you see repeated over and over again by the employees, by the staff, that there are certain methods in place that you should follow to prevent unnecessary deaths of the animals that are being used in these trials. And since there's this constant pressure to rush, get it done, be more hardcore. Well, it leads to human errors, which then leads to these animals needlessly dying, and then they have to do the trial again. I mean, which by the way, takes up more time. It's just so stupid and insanely cruel to the animals, of course. Now, the sources characterized that figure as a rough estimate, the 1,500 figure as a rough estimate, because the company actually does not keep precise records on the number of animals tested and killed. There are other animals like rats and mice that are not included at all. So just something to keep in mind, a caveat that I think is important. Now, one employee in messages seen by Reuters wrote an angry missive this year to colleagues about the need to overhaul how the company organizes animal surgeries to prevent hack jobs. The rush schedule, the employee wrote, resulted in underprepared and overstressed staffers scrambling to meet deadlines and making last-minute changes before surgeries, which of course, that raises risks to the animals. And I think the risks were carried out with the insane number of animals that died during these clinical trials. The mistakes leading to unnecessary animal deaths included one instance in 2021 when 25 out of 60 pigs in a study had devices that were the wrong size implanted in their heads, an error that could have been avoided with more preparation. So what is this really about, okay? Do I think that there's this intentional effort by employees and leadership at Neuralink to be cruel to animals, to kill animals? No, I don't think that's what's driving this. What's driving this is what drives a lot of the problems that we see in society today. The profit motive behind it, the competition behind it. And in the communications that Elon Musk, the CEO of Neuralink, has had with the staff, it's abundantly clear that he's concerned that he's not gonna beat the competition. And they gotta go, they gotta go, they gotta go. You gotta get it out there, we wanna move on to the next phase of trials. We gotta start doing the trials on humans. No, if you are a human thinking about participating in a human trial for Neuralink in the near future, do not do it, okay? Do not do it. Why? Well, there are some examples of Elon Musk applying the pressure that I want to provide for you. Now, many companies routinely use animals in experiments to advance human healthcare, and they face financial pressure to quickly bring products to market. That's what Reuters reported. And it is demonstrably true. Not just in this case, but in many cases that we've seen with companies in a rush to roll things out. They make all sorts of mistakes, make terrible decisions, they cut corners because they want to be first. They want a larger market share for the innovative technology they're putting out there. Earlier this year, the chief executive sent staffers a news article about Swiss researchers. So this is what Musk did. So Musk sent staffers a news article about Swiss researchers who developed an electrical implant that helped a paralyzed man to walk again. We could enable people to use their hands and walk again in daily life, Musk wrote to staff at 6:37 a.m. Pacific time on February 8th. 10 minutes later, he followed up. In general, we are simply not moving fast enough. It is driving me nuts. Okay, we're talking about technology that would implant a chip in the human brain. Maybe slow it down a little bit, okay? Even if you don't care about animals at all, which, okay, fine. I think that's terrible. But we're talking about implanting a chip in the human brain. You want to make sure that safeguards are in place and you're not rushing this technology out to the market. And look, do I have a lot of faith in our institutions and our federal institutions to oversee this and make sure that everything's being done carefully? I want to say yes. I mean, there's obviously a federal investigation now, so that's good. I think there should be a federal investigation into this. But there's a lot of talk coming from feds. We see it in so many different instances where they talk about self-regulation. I don't like that. But let me continue. Other Neuralink rivals are having more success, and that's making Elon Musk incredibly nervous. So Synchron, which was launched in 2016 and is developing a different implant with less ambitious goals for medical advances, received FDA approval to start human trials in 2021. The company's device has allowed paralyzed people to text and type by thinking alone. First off, let me just say this technology is incredible. So I'm not against the idea, I'm not against the technology, but I am against how the profit motive of private companies pressures the company and the executives at the company to push this as quickly as possible, knowing full well that there are serious ramifications for both the animals in the clinical trials and potentially the humans that might be part of the trials and might use this technology in the future. For Musk and all other private companies, time is money, right? And there's that pressure to go, 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 go. Financial pressures are at play. On several occasions over the years, Musk has told employees to imagine they had a bomb strapped on their heads in an effort to get them to move faster, according to 3 sources who repeatedly heard the comment. On one occasion, a few years ago, Musk told employees he would trigger a market failure. Oh, interesting that he said that. At Neuralink, unless they made more progress. A comment perceived by some employees as a threat to shut down operations. Yeah, because it was a threat to shut down operations. But it's interesting that he said he would trigger a market failure. He certainly does have a lot of experience manipulating markets on, social media platforms like Twitter, especially when it comes to things like the cost of crypto and all that. So you should believe him when he says it, because he's definitely done it in the past. But at the end of the day, again, it's the profit motive and the financial pressure that should be completely banned in the context of clinical trials, in the context of our healthcare industry. But we're so far away from even having a serious discussion about that. Our politicians are so far away from even considering that. So in the meantime, all sorts of animals are just gonna die during these clinical trials that are being rushed by a man who's really feeling the financial pressure. Great. We'll let you know the outcome of that federal investigation as we learn more.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.